just dig that pan deep in the ass. It's you know, I feel like I'm plumping up already. Hello and welcome back, my little darlings, to another beauty video here on my channel. Yes indeed, and today we are gonna try out some new makeup together. And I've had these makeup items for a while now, just sitting in my drawer not doing anything, because I actually ordered some makeup brushes from Wish, which I wanted to use, but I can't because they are never arriving. I can't understand why. So, today is a full face of new makeup, yes indeed, or at least it's makeup that is new for me. You might have seen these items before, but enough about that. We are gonna press every little button we can down below. You know, like that like, subscribe and notification icon with all notifications turned on, so you don't miss anything in the future, and so you can become a part of the DarlingSquad and the Digazmo family as well. Yes! And with that said, let's jump straight into the makeup. So, I have ordered makeup. Yes, and I do that every end of the year or beginning of the year, because, you know, I need to upgrade my makeup game somehow, somewhere. And if you have seen my haul week, you will know these items. For example, this moisturizer, which I will use as a primer, some highlighter and brow products, and you know, not brow products. This is a goddamn eyeshadow palette, but I will use it for my brows. Ah yeah, so drugs diluted in water, so good I can die. I will actually start with some primer.
Yes, indeed.
And for primer today, I will actually use this Hydro Expert primer. No, I will use it as a primer. It's actually a moisturizer. Yes, indeed. And it's actually really nice. It smells really fresh, you know. Real skincare for me. It's containing dimethicone, which I do not find suitable for skincare products, but cien does, so that is why I'm using this skincare item as a primer. And I just dipped my brush right into that jar, because I hate getting icky sticky on my fingers.
Yes, indeed.
I will apply this all over my
face.
And dimethicone is, you know, a really good smoothing agent in both skincare and makeup, you know, and it does clog up the pores, but if you want to look like a smooth baby, you need to have something containing dimethicone. I'm, however, quite worried about how it will sink into the skin or sit on the skin, because since this is a moisturizer, it can either sink in really fast, or it can just sit on top on the face and off the face, on the face, I don't know. And just look really disgusting, for real. Yes, indeed. Now, it is applied with a brush, and it will just sink into the skin for a little moment before we start to apply anything else. It has actually sunken in already, and my skin feels really smooth. And it feels very skincare, you know, so I mean, I'm not mad at it. Let's just see if it can, you know, stand makeup application. Today, in this trying out makeup, I will actually use this little guy right here, or girl, no matter what you want to call it. For Makeup Revolution, it's their Fast Base Stick Foundation. Yes, indeed. And I have not tried this, and I do not know how it will apply, and I have not wet my beauty blender, so I will have to use a brush. I have started to use brushes more frequently, because, you know, wetting your beauty blender is the most disturbing thing in the world. I mean, come on, who has the time for that? But still, I will apply this stick foundation. It's just open, I have not used it. You can see it's still new and shiny and fresh, and I do enjoy this quite luxurious packaging, and it does have quite a lot of product in it. I mean, it's like a huge nude lipstick, and this is in the color F4, or, you know, foundation number 4, and it smells
terrific.
No, it doesn't smell like anything. It's Makeup Revolution. Who am I trying to kid? Oh my lord, it went on really smooth. I don't know why I haven't tried stick foundations before. I mean, I do think I have had this, you know, kind of feel that it would, you know, be kind of hard to apply it, or, you know, the stick itself would be really weird. But I have wanted to tried this for a very long time and the stick just destroyed itself all over my face. It was really smooth. The light intensity just increased by like 1,000,000 degrees. It was actually a really smooth formula and I look really ridiculous. But just blend this out and it will be totally fine. And I do not know if this shade matches me. I do believe it's a little bit light. I try to get a neutral undertone for my skin, but I do think it matches my neck at least. Does it match my neck? I am most certain it actually does match my neck. I have a really hard time matching my foundation because my skin tone is both neutral and not neutral at the same time, and I do not know why that is. But let's apply some more just right there. It's like a really creamy stick concealer, and why is the light flickering so goddamn much today? Well, good thing that the coverage is actually buildable, you know.
Buildable?
It has a real nice dewy finish. I mean, it's a really dewy finish. And it's quite full coverage to say the least. Let's just use the beauty blender to dilute that greasiness. It is a really thick formula, and I do believe I went in too heavy with the product. And now it just looks like I have grease all over my face, and that is not the product's fault, it's my fault, because I did not, you know, anticipate this much of a payoff from that stick. I thought it would be harder, you know. It has actually settled into every fine line I have, which is totally fine. Now, for concealer, I will use a new color of an old trusty concealer I have used before, and this is the Revolution Conceal and Define in the color C1, and you can't see that, I do believe, but that is the C1, you know, the C1. The reason I bought this lighter shade is because this is neutral and nice. I really need a new concealer, and I really wanted a really light and neutral one because I have started to discover what my true shade match is, and I will just glob that shit down because I don't know what the moderation is right now. And I do feel like this were a little bit too light for me, so I will probably use this as an eyeshadow base instead of a concealer, you know. But we are in the winter months, so it will be too light for me in the summer, I can already tell. But bought is bought and it's paid for, so I need to use it. Oh my lord, this fast base foundation was really horrid when you apply too much. Well, yes, indeed. Concealer is on and it looks crazy as shit because I over-applied that goddamn foundation and it feels really sticky on the skin. It doesn't mix well with that thing I used for primer, you know. You know, that fast base just glided on real good and now it's just creasing all over. Let's just blot this down with paper while we're at it, because that's what I did in the 1950s, so I can do that as well. But instead of whining, we will go in with this Makeup Revolution powder in the color Lace. Yes. This is completely new, and I will just try to figure out how we will open this one. What the shit? So this is why girls have long nails, so they can peel off these little plastic covers. And I will take some out in that cap, and I will dip my flat-sided beauty sponge in that, and I will just powder that all over my under eyes. It's really finely milled, so be careful because you will have it everywhere if you aren't careful. And I'm not really into applying with that. Where is my powder puff? I will use my powder puff instead because I do feel like that blends the powder into the skin more evenly. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed, that powder actually blended in nicely onto the skin, actually. And now it's time to recreate my New Year's Eve's makeup look. And for that I will use this Take Me Back to Brazil palette from BH Cosmetics. And this one I opened in the haul. And in here we have these lovely lovely colors. Yes, indeed. They are really gorgeous. They are pressed pigments. And I'm really looking forward to playing with these little bad boys. And up close my makeup looks hideous, so I over-applied that foundation because it looks cakey as shit. But let's not dwell on that. We will go in with this palette right now, and I will use this little brush right here, which I've swirled around in my homemade DIY color changer. This is just a plastic Brillo pad, you know, those nylon sponges with big holes in them, in a little jar, and they work just as well as the other brands that make them, you know, but it costs a fraction of what they do when you have a name on it. So I will start with going in with this blue shade, this kind of blue shade. You know, this kind of blue shade. And that didn't pick up shit. Let's use this big blender brush instead. So I dipped into that really blue shade, you know, that light blue one. Yes, indeed. Really, you know, Canary Islandy blue watery shade. Yes, indeed. And I will just plop that everywhere in my crease and my outer corner, because that's what I did on New Year's when I started to get drunk and I didn't have done my makeup just yet. So let's do that today also. Oh my lord, my darlings. These pigments did lay down real beautifully on the eye. They smell like chemicals for shit, but you know, I rather have them smell like a goddamn pharmacy than a perfume store. So you know, if you have a lot of headaches or cluster headaches, migraines and that sort of stuff that you know, makes you sensitive to smells, this smells just like your medicine. So I mean, it's not a very heavy scent at all. The pigments themselves were actually very pigmented, you know, very blendable indeed, and I'm not mad at it at all. It actually lived up to my expectations. I'm back, bitch! Because now my camera is not dead anymore, but I have blended this light blue to perfection, and it is a heck of a lot more pigmented than my other Passion of Stockholm 88 Magic Eye Palette, or whatever it's called, I can't remember. It's from Passion of Stockholm. It's a really good beginner palette. It has a lot of colors, a lot of neutrals that I still use, but I have moved onwards to these more elaborate colored looks, and I want to evolve my makeup application process, so that is why. So, what I did also New Year was that I went in with a dark shimmer shade, kind of like this one right there. Or, you know, maybe I actually should go in with that one right there. That is more, you know, vibrant blue rather than dark blue. So I will actually pick that, and I will use this brush again, which I used to apply that lighter color. And if you are wondering what brush I am using, this is a Color & Company de Le Frankenbourgeois in pony hair, you know. It's pony hair on this one, so poor ponies. But it's not a vegan brush, it's really good, and it's not even a makeup brush, because this is a watercolor brush, and it applies eyeshadow really good. And now I'm digging into that dark shade right there. These pigments are actually applying real nicely indeed. I am shook to my core. I did know that BH Cosmetics did make good low-priced makeup, you know, but I did not expect them to be this good, you know. And this palette is a little tad expensive, you know. It's 22 euros, I do believe, but if you want to splurge your money, if you don't have so much, if you want to splurge on something, you know, brandy, you know, not something cheap from the drugstore, you know, but you know, drugstore isn't cheap anymore either, you could totally splurge on this little eyeshadow palette. I mean, it's a really nice color palette from what I am experiencing right now. I am not mad at it at all. The color payoff is real big. It blends nicely. It doesn't go on patchy or anything. And I'm just really enjoying these shades. These are hell of a lot more pigmented than I'm used to, and they look really really gorgeous. Yes, indeed. I mean, I can really get that deepness up that I'm really into at the moment. I mean, just deepen everything up and look like a hooker for real. Now it's time to take this really light shade right there. It's a shimmery shade, you know, a little bit shimmery, and I will use that to make a gradient on my brow bone, you know. Just as I did on New Year's. Yes, indeed. And the brush I'm using at the moment is also a Color & Company de Lefranc and Bourgois. It's also in pony hair. It's a number 6. It's time to go in on my lid with a shimmery color. And I used a light gunmetal shimmer on my eyelids on New Year's. And I do not have that in this palette, but I have this highlighting color right there, and this highlighting color right there, and this one right there is a little bit more bluish, grayish, you know. That one is more white and pure. So I will actually go in with that greenish one. I will use it dry on one eye, and on the other eye I will use this new setting spray I also bought to see how it works. Yes, indeed. But I will saturate my brush with that shimmery shade pigment, and I will just plop that on my lid, and that was beautiful to say the least. Oh my lord, it went really well with that blue gradient I have going on my eye right now. Oh my god. And I'm doing kind of like a cut case, but not a cut case. So let's just swirl it around in the color switcher, and I will spray this gently with some setting spray. Like that. 2 spritzes will be enough. I almost said spritzes because I'm so German I can die at the moment. And now I will just dig into that shade. It was a little bit powdery, or my brush is really hard. I do not know what is going on, but it was a little bit, you know, fallouty in the panny, but not on the eye. And I will just plop that on the lid. And you know, I can't see a difference with setting spray or not, so I don't believe that you need to spray your brush down with setting spray just to get that intense sparkle, you know. But I also noticed when you sprayed it with setting spray, you got a teeny weeny bit of fallout, so I would not recommend you to do that, you know, because you pick up too much pigments when you wet your brush, and that is not good, you know. Now, on New Year's I got a new little eyeshadow palette as a housewarming gift from one of my friend's girlfriends. This little Wet n Wild shadow, which contained a black that was really black. But I will just, you know, use the black in the BH Cosmetics one instead. And I will actually tap that excess off, because on New Year's I didn't do that and I looked like a goddamn raccoon, and that was not cute. So I will just gently smoke my under eyes with that black shade. My brush is too stiff for this. Let's use this flat little brush, you know, instead. It has a flat tip, and I will just stamp that black color on my under eye and look like a goddamn hooker, which I did on New Year's. Good thing I didn't go out on New Year's, because somebody would have tried to buy me if I did. The only place I went on New Year's was the local gas station to get cigarettes, and I did actually take my makeup off before I went there, because I didn't want to get, you know, beaten down. And this is not going very well, to say the least. I have a hard time smudging my under eyes. I do not know why that is. Not too shabby, if I can say it myself, but I do not know what I thought with on New Year's, that this would look good, but drunk me thought it did. Yes, real hookery for real. So, with this horrendous eye look going on, I will actually try out this eye pencil that I got as a housewarming gift as well. And this is from Wet n Wild. It's their Color Icon Kohl eyeliner in the color white. And my friend said this would make my eyes look a lot bigger, so let's just hope that this will save this horrendous look. I do not know if I see any difference, but I do not think I should be applying it on my waterline either. They look so big I can't know. But it's a really nice white shade actually, and I will actually use this white eyeliner a lot, because I do not own a good white eyeliner. So I hope this is better than the other one I'm gonna try in a different video. Now my darlings, it's time to put some brows on. Yes, indeed. And I will use that Wet n Wild palette. This is actually their Lights Out palette. And it's have a transitioning shade right there that is really dark brown and neutral. And I will just use that to fill in my brows before we go into highlight her. And right from the start I can tell you that it is really pigmented. Yes, indeed. Brows are on. I need to go and get them fixed because they look like crap. This was actually a really nice brow shade, but my brows look hideous anyway. Now, those brows have to be good at the moment because I can't stand looking at myself in the mirror at the moment. I do not know what is going on right now. And I do not use eyeliners and that sort of shit, so I will not do that step, of course. So we'll go straight into highlighter. And I have this really gorgeous from Wet n Wild. It's the Mega Glow highlighting powder. Yes, indeed. It's really light. It's really reflective. It's really, you know, highlighty without being too sparkly, you know. So I will just take that and I will take my highlighter brush. This is actually a blend eyeshadow brush. No, wait. I will go with this fan brush instead and I will just dig in all over the pan. And if I can remember correctly, this looked really good on New Year, so I do believe it looks really good now as well. Oh yes, it does look reflective as shit. I don't know if you can see it because I'm so dewy anyway, but it gives a really nice kind of sheer glow, you know. It's not too, you know, bam! And I will use a little bit of a bigger brush to get that, you know, saturation up in there. And it's really reflective. Thank you so much if you are watching this video, Hatte. Yes, indeed. I don't know why I said your name like that. Let's go in with that little brush on my nose to just get that highlighting action on my nose as well. Rudolph the reindeer and a little bit on the bridge, you know, like this. Yes, indeed. Oh, so good eye can I. And now let's go in with that fan brush again to get me that sweaty look. And it's really nice. Maybe a little bit chalky, but I mean, come on, it's actually really pretty. I do believe it's the base's fault. It looks kinda orange larging, but I don't think you can see that on video anyway, because these beauty lights are making me beautiful as shit at the moment. Now, my darlings, there is just contouring left, and since I don't have a new contouring palette, I will just have to contour with my compact powder from Cien, and you have probably seen this a billion times before, but I will just show you again, just in case you haven't seen it. And I will just go in with the angled brush and I will just dig that pan deep in the ass, and I don't know why I said it like that. And I will just, you know, like bronze up my cheeks, and now I can see that this is really orange because this foundation is so neutral. But I don't have any other contouring palette. I really need to get one. Now, I do believe that we're all the new makeup I can put on my face as of now. I will just go in with this really big fluffy brush and some more of this Revolution lace powder and brush it all over my face, you know, just to get that airbrushed, flawless, I am not a stoner look, because as of now I look like a drugged out hooker stoner. I can't do anything about it, but I can try to veil everything. And I'm using a really big and fluffy powder brush from Beauty UK. And I will just have this finely milled powder everywhere in my apartment. The only thing we have left as of now is actually this setting spray from Makeup Revolution it's their Hyaluronic Fix setting spray. Hydrating and plumping. So I will just plump my face up as a bitch. And just make my melt up. And just make my makeup melt together. Yes, indeed. So, my darlings, that setting spray did smell like the oil controlling setting spray I had from Makeup Revolution before. And it smells like chemicals. It smells like straight up chemicals. However, that setting spray were actually very refreshing, very hydrating. It's you know, I feel like I'm plumping up already. You know, my face is bloating to the goods. Matches my neck, almost. I look like Casper the Friendly Ghost, but still. I did actually enjoy this powder, it did lay nicely on the skin. It doesn't feel too heavy. However, this foundation is really heavy. If you're gonna use this, you really need to be really careful, because it's really easy to, you know, over apply it, because, you know, oh, it doesn't look like that much, and then you blend it out and you're like, oh my greasy lord, what did I used to do to my face? The highlighter, really pretty, really glossy without being sparkly. It might be a little bit chalky, but that is probably due to my base is just up for real. And now for the Take Me Back to Brazil palette, I did actually enjoy this really much. I can't wait to play with the other colors as well, you know, because the colors in this one looks really, you know, inspiring to me. I mean, those magenta pinkish color with those green ones, and that really dark purple up there, that really, you know, dark and neutral one, and those yellows. I had really wanted a good yellow for so long, and now I do believe I finally have one. We'll just have to wait and see. Yes, indeed. And for this little palette, I am really amazed that it worked both as an eyeshadow on New Year's and as a brow product this year. Yes, indeed. It's actually a really little nice palette. It has little indents on it that tells you if it's a transition shade or a brow shade, you know, lid shade and crease shade. Yes, indeed. Not that you can see so much of it because I have destroyed it, but still, I really did enjoy this one. And now for the primer. It worked great as a primer, yes indeed. It smells really skincare. It felt really good on the skin. It sank into the skin really good, you know. And it is a nice little component, yes indeed. It looks really luxurious for being used. €5 I do believe it were, I can't remember. But I did really actually enjoy this one. I actually really enjoyed this one. Yes indeed. And now for the setting spray. The setting spray feels really plumping. It does feel like it sets the makeup in place, you know. I do get a little bit of transfer, but I do believe that is because that the foundation was really dewy. I have been rambling for too long, and I will just say that I enjoyed all of these products. Actually, they will require some more testing to, you know, to give you a full review. Of course, there will come reviews of everything in a couple of months, you know, when I have tried everything out, you know, properly and that sort of stuff. And I also want to tease you for the next beauty video, because I have some eye pencils, I have some brow products, foundation, and I have some oils, and I have some translucent powders, and I have a gorgeous loose glitter, and I have this eyeshadow palette. Yes indeed, and I am a big goddamn teaser. Thank you so much for watching this video of me, not with me, and I do believe that before we go, I will actually apply some of that really white highlighting shade in this beige cosmetics palette, because that is what I used on New Year's as well. You know, a highlighting shade, a really white one, not this one in particular. So, thank you so much for watching, my darlings, and please don't forget to press that like, subscribe and notification icon down below with all notifications turned on, so you can become a part of the DarlingSquad and the Digazmo family as well. Yes indeed, and that highlighting color were exquisite. And of course, as always, be who you are since nobody else can, and I see you in the next one. Bye!